Hey, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to week 11 of the high school football season. This is semifinal night for districts, classes 1 through 6 and 8-man football. We'll get to those scores here shortly. But first off, wherever you may be listening from, if you're in your vehicle, hey, take a look around and make sure that everybody's got their seatbelts on. Hey, before you put it in drive, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. I'm Guy Newcomb here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Some exciting games going on tonight. We're kind of bogged down a little bit with everybody going to the Mission website, but we'll get you what we have at this time, our last report. We do know that it has gone final in Lebanon as Branson nearly pulls the upset. Had it first and goal with 16 seconds left in the game in an effort maybe to tie it up at 42. But Lebanon hangs on, and they win 42-35 over Branson. Big win for Webb City as they host Belton out of Kansas City. They win 71-20. It was 64-6 at the half, and Webb City's first 4 offensive plays resulted in touchdowns. So they are up to their old tricks as well. Number 1 seed in that in that district. We'll start off at the top here. We have reached out to several coaches here along the way. But in the fourth quarter, CBC leads Marquette 37-35. A final score, SLU has defeated Rittenhour 40-17. Elsewhere, Blair Oaks on top of Southern Boone Big 50-14 in the fourth quarter. Capital City leads Camdenton 31-29. That game also in the fourth quarter. Father Tolton over Versailles 57-20. Penny in the fourth quarter leads Maysville 38-26. It's the final. Lebanon defeats Branson 42-35. Crystal City in the fourth quarter leads Harrisburg 40-30. And I apologize. I've got a little fall cold here, fall cough. Oak Park leads Staley 28-21. That game in the fourth. East Buchanan over Brookfield 52-14 in the fourth. Eureka leads Ladue 34-14, and we've reached out to coach there as well. I tell you what, lots of games going final. Here's Tipton. They also win. And I apologize, we're texting coaches here as they're getting onto the bus and getting out of their games. And so we will be visiting with coaches throughout the evening. Coming up at 9:40, the Veda head coach, Wes Beechler. And then at 9:50 will be William Duke, who's the head coach at Tipton, as they get a big win tonight as well. Mountain Grove in the fourth quarter leads St. James 60-29. Ava on top of Eldon 50-8 in the fourth quarter. Adrian leads Butler 42-14, also in the fourth quarter. Skyline on top of Polo 36. I apologize here. 36-22. And our chat line is up. If you want to go on, you can visit with us on the chat line here. You can chat right on to YouTube, right on to Facebook, and they will pop up on the screen as well. Odessa over Booneville 44-33. Maryville led Cameron in the third quarter 33-0. Fort Zumwalt West and Troy Buchanan are all tied up at 14 in the fourth quarter. Windsor leads West Platte 39-0 in the fourth quarter. It's Kabul in the fourth quarter over Ash Grove 26-6. Warrenton leads Parkway North 14-7 in the fourth. Elias 38-28 on top of Washington in the fourth. Sullivan in the fourth leads Union 23-7. Milan in the fourth is shutting out Scotland County 41-0. And Clayton at the half, last report, leads Vashon 7-0. Also in the fourth, St. Genevieve on top of Dexter 44-14. Lincoln trailing North Platte 59-8 in the fourth quarter. Joplin on top of Kickapoo 42-29 in the fourth. Platte County leads Fort Osage 28-14. Nixa in the third quarter was on top of Ozark 29-0. It was Pacific on top of Gateway 21-6. St. Clair leads Bishop DeBerg 49-10. Moberly on top of Centralia 41-22 in the fourth. Also in the fourth, 21-19, Stratford leads Forsyth. Kabul in the fourth leads 6-6. Liberty North in the fourth, 63-28 on top of Blue Springs. Webb City, that has gone final. They defeat Belton 71-20. Warsaw in the fourth leads South Callaway 39-20. Jefferson out of Festus, they lead St. Pius the 10th out of Festus 28-7 in the fourth. Rockwood Summit 21-7 on top of Parkway West in the fourth. Oak Grove in a barn burner, they lead California 33-32 in the fourth. St. Dominic leads Timberland 35-14 in that game in the fourth as well. So we're, holy cow, with 7 seconds left, Camden scores to take a 38-36 lead over Capital City. Fort Zumwalt North leads Liberty 28-7 in the fourth. 51-6, Thayer on top of Charleston in the fourth. MICDS leads Hazelwood East in the fourth quarter 35-14. Hannibal in the fourth quarter leads Holt 41-20. Elsewhere, Rockbridge on top of House Central 56-19. That game in the fourth as well. Also in the fourth, Howe leads Lafayette 49-21. In the fourth, Farmington leads Poplar Bluff 28-14. Valley Catholic, or St. Genevieve Valley, they lead Caruthersville 56-14 in the fourth. And Orchard Farm at halftime leads John Burroughs 19-7. Elsewhere, in the third quarter, Jackson on top of Lindbergh 35-0. Final score, Marionville defeats Miller 49-0. Republic, they defeat Willard 35-0. That's as a final. Bowling Green over Monroe City 51-6. Also a final, Western defeats Putnam County 13-12. Carl Junction defeats Harrisonville 17-7. Elsewhere, final scores, St. Francis Borgia defeats Owensville 49-14. St. Pius X out of Kansas City defeats Chillicothe 51-6. Final score, Fairgrove over Liberty 42-7. Smithville, they defeat Kirksville 49-8. Seneca shuts out Cassville 48-0. Kearney defeats Savannah 35-13. Elsewhere, McDonald County pulls it out, and they defeat West Plains 35-33. Tipton 40-8 final over Louisiana. Marceline defeats Salisbury 32-13. Mid-Buchanan over Trenton 20-7. Mount Vernon defeats Reed Spring 45-13. Pleasant Hill defeats Warrensburg 55-14. Nevada shuts out Grandview 43-0. Festus defeats Sykeston 51-7. Green Valley 49-8. over over Chrisman. Central, Park Hill Central 44, Herculaneum 14. Seckman shuts out Oakville 33-0. Lamar shuts out Diamond 47-0. Jeff City shuts out Marshall 49-0. St. Vincent over Russellville 56-6. Those are your scores as we have them at this time. Scores and updates brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank. Understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. If you want to call or comment, but at this point, we welcome to the show Nevada Tigers head football coach Wes Beechler. Coach Beechler, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Guy, for having me.
Coach, big win tonight. You get a shutout to a great defensive effort as well. Talk a little bit about tonight's game.
Well, tonight we just did a really good job of 11 guys playing as one unit on both sides of the ball and at special teams guys. So it's just an impressive night for us. You know, the toughness of our schedule, playing the Big Eight and then playing the East teams like Reed Spring and Mount Vernon, just prepares us well for this. And we've talked all year about how good we could be if we play together on both sides of the ball, and we did that tonight. Hopefully we can carry that over for another week or two.
Talk about some of the young men who really stood out for you tonight.
Well, Jack Chaney had over 200 yards rushing again and 2 touchdowns, I believe, on the ground and 1 receiving for about 60 or 45-yard reception for a touchdown as well. And then our offensive line and our fullback have just played really well tonight. So that's probably a lot of names to mention, but our offensive line and our fullback just played really well. We had a lot of scenes. I was surprised at how well our offensive line played. And they've been a strength for us all year. Just one game that just didn't move the ball very well against Lamar this year. But other than that, we've moved the ball well, and they really stepped up big tonight, got our backs in some space. So anytime we get Jack Chaney out in space, we're going to have some success. And I know he's just 35 yards away from breaking our single-season rushing record, which Avius Stedman set 2 years ago. So he's had a tremendous year, and he's real quick to thank his offensive line and his fullback for those opportunities.
You know, this time of year, everybody's got bumps and bruises, but outside of that, are you relatively healthy right now as you go into that district championship game?
Yeah, we've been really blessed to maintain a lot of health. We're not down any starters right now. We do have some guys, like we're taping some ankles and we're taping some wrists and things like that. But I hope we didn't jinx it right here. But relatively healthy, and I've been going clear back to my days in Houston. I realized real quick that you want to be physical at practice and do things right, but you got to have your horses healthy when it comes to playoff time. So we've been able to do that this year, and hopefully we can do it for a while longer.
Now you get to host Carl Junction in the district championship. But what do you know about Carl Junction?
Well, we saw them in the Jamboree and really impressed with the job that they're doing down there right now. Coach Hafner in his first year down there, we were impressed with how well they executed and how emotional they played, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. So I know it'll be a challenge. You can throw the record out the window because they play in a really tough conference and they have a really tough schedule. So it'll be a team that's ready to play. They're well coached, and it should be a good matchup for us.
Very good. Well, Coach Beechler, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time on a game night, and congratulations on the victory, and best of luck next week.
All right. Thanks, guy. Thanks for all you do for high school sports. Appreciate
you bet.
it.
Thank you. Couldn't do without you. Thanks,
right.
Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Wes Beechler there, kind enough to join us here, and he's always been a friend of the show, no matter where I was, with Fox Sports, ESPN, and now the Missouri Sports Network. Coach Beechler, spent time. He mentioned that he spent some time at Houston. He was at Parkview for a while, and then I believe even Republic, and now he's back at Nevada. He's been there for a number of years now, and they're having a great season. They get the bye, and they're going to play Carl Junction. And he mentioned it, in the interview that those teams out of the COC right now are looking pretty good tonight. You just go back and look at what Branson was able to do against a very talented Lebanon team, and kind of take them to the brink of a victory there. And of course, Webb City, they've played well for 3 decades, heck, maybe 4 decades, but they played awfully well. And, those COC teams are having a good night so far tonight, with Webb City winning. Republic has won, and Joplin, at last report, was a couple scores up on the Kickapoo Chiefs. And, they've changed that conference now a little bit, and we'll talk more about that in on high school game day sometime. But right now, we're going to take a quick time out. We come back, we'll be talking hopefully with Tipton head football coach William Duke after these messages. You're watching Friday Night Live right here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetin.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Lots of games on the docket tonight. We'll run through those as we wait to hear from Coach William Duke from Tipton High School. And if they get a win this evening, and we're trying to find out. We're trying to log in right now, but not cooperating. The website is slowing down. So Capital City comes back and they defeat Camdenton at the buzzer 38-35. So that other final in 8-man district action, Liberal defeats College Heights 44-26. Capital City gets their first 8-win season. Nixon has gone final as they defeat Ozark 50-0. Other final, Skyline they defeat Polo. They hang on 36-30. And now we welcome to the show Tipton Cardinals head football coach William Duke. Coach Duke, big win tonight. Tell us about the victory.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. We had the opportunity to play the Louisiana Bulldogs tonight. They're in a very tough conference, with Bowling Green and a lot of other tough schools, and didn't know how the kids were going to respond because we had a bye week. Now the Class 1's been shuffled around, but I think the bye week helped them a lot. Kids were able to get their legs back under them, and I thought the kids played hard, played fast, and turned up their physicality a little bit.
Yeah, and I realize at this point of the season, everybody's kind of banged up just a little bit, but you come out of tonight's game, are you relatively healthy?
Yes, sir. The bye week helped us tremendously with that. We were able to get a couple of kids back who had some nicks and bumps and bruises that were keeping them from competing at their top level. And we've been limiting them a little bit over the last couple of weeks. And, the bye week certainly allowed them to heal up, and they were moving around pretty fast tonight. I'm pretty proud of them.
Coach, tell us about some of the kids that kind of stood out for you tonight.
I guess first and foremost, we ran the football really well. So we're going to talk about our offensive line, starting with our left tackle, Max Maddox, moving to our left guard, Sam Duke, our center, Nick Wolf, right guard, Ben Bestian, right tackle, Cooper Pettigrew, our tight end, Emmett Hawk. Several of those guys are underclassmen, and they've taken on this challenge all year to run the football, and they want the ball to run behind them. So they've done a great job, and you get some of those skill guys like Jackson Bailey and Lucas Cashman and Brenton Arnold and Kane Myers, and they're really an unselfish group. They just go out there and they don't care who gets the ball. They just want everybody to do well. They want the team to win. So I can't say enough about how much these guys really are a blessing to be around every day.
And what do you know about your next opponent? You may not even know who that is yet, but I believe it's Crystal City.
It is Crystal City. Crystal City is a physical football team. I believe they're a running team based on some of the things I've heard. We'll have to dive into some film, obviously, and trade with them. But, from what I've heard, they have a very good fullback, very fast. I think a lot of their kids are on the track team. They've played some of the common opponents that Louisiana has played, and they get after it down there. They're a very physical football team. They're in an area concentrated south of St. Louis where there's a lot of football teams down there in the Jefferson County area. So I know they're going to be a good football team.
Very good. So how far away, what's the travel like for you to get over there?
It's going to be a 3-hour trip. We're going to have to travel down south, get caught in a little rush hour and stuff like that. But we'll look forward to traveling. Like we tell the players all the time, we can't control that. What we can control is what happens between the whistles, and that's what we need to focus on this week. So we tell them all the time, be happy, not satisfied. Be happy with the win today. Don't be satisfied with what you've accomplished, and come back Monday, be ready to work.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous here with your time on a Friday night during the playoffs, and best of luck next week, and we're looking forward to keep track of you down the road.
Thank you, sir. God bless. Have a great night.
You too. God bless. Bye, Coach. Coach William Duke, they're kind enough to join us here as they get a win tonight over Louisiana, and they will travel to Crystal City in Week 12. Other matchups tonight, we're still efforting, getting some of the scores put up. Lockwood over Greenfield, 62-12, as Bishop LeBlanc defeating St. Joe Christian 26-20 in 8-man action. Schuyler County on top of Knox County, 72-20. And Marionville tonight defeats Miller 49-0 in that contest. It was Kabul over Ash Grove, I believe 20. Well, no, that's not final yet. But Thayer does defeat Charleston 51-14 in district quarterfinals. In District 2 quarterfinals, St. Vincent over Russellville 56-6. Tipton, as I just mentioned, 40-8 over Louisiana. And district quarterfinals in District 3, we don't have scores up yet. District quarterfinals for District 4, Class 1 District 4, Milan defeats Scotland County 44-0. Marceline over Salisbury 32-13. West Strand defeats Putnam County 13-12. In Class 2 District Football, Valley Catholic over Caruthersville 56-14 in District 1 semifinal. In District 2 semifinals, Jefferson is taking on St. Pius X out of Festus. Live for Life is facing Herman. In District 3 quarterfinals, Father Tolton and Versailles, Warsaw, and South Callaway. We'll update, see if we can't get some of these scores updated here at scoreboardguy.net. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Follow us at Scoreboard Guy on Twitter and at Missouri_sports, and visit our website at MissouriSportsNetwork.com and go to our YouTube page and take a look at all of the episodes we've done. We're probably getting close to 1,000 episodes right now there on our YouTube channel. And they're all archived. And if you've got some that you think deserves to be a Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Chevrolet Dealers of the Ozarks, send us an email at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. I'm sorry, Missouri Sports Network at gmail.com. That's the email address. The other was the website. So anyway, we've had kind of a long night tonight. Did high school game day at 5 o'clock. Then I had the pleasure to go over with Alan Hilliard Sports for the Misha TV and call the Bolivar, well, the first half anyway, of the Bolivar game, and then kind of had to get back here and try and get some food in me and get ready for tonight's scoreboard show. We're expect to be joined by Seckman head football coach Nick Bear here coming up at 10 o'clock. So we'll run through the scores until he gets a hold of us here. CBC over Marquette 44-35. SLU defeats Rittenhour 40-17. In the fourth quarter, Mountain Grove leads St. James 67-37. Also in the fourth, that has not gone final yet, Kickapoo and Joplin. Joplin was on top 42-29 at last report. At last report, Liberty North kind of having their way with Blue Springs 70-31. St. Genevieve on top of Dexter 44-14. St. Clair 49-10 over Bishop DeBerg at last report. Rockwood Summit leading Parkway West 21-7 at last report. 35-14. Timberland trails St. Dominic. 49-21 in the fourth quarter. Lafayette is behind Howell out of St. Charles. Hillsboro in the second quarter leads North County 31-0, and that's probably way beyond the third quarter at that time, or second quarter at this time. South Shelby defeats Clark County 43-6. It was Marionville over Miller 49-0. Willard falls to Republic 35-14, and a replay of a great game earlier this year, back to week 4 when it was 21-20, and the difference in the game was an extra point. Capital City defeats Camdenton 38-35. Bowling Green, they defeat Monroe City 51-6. Western over Putnam County 13-12. Carl Junction defeats Harrisonville 17-7. Moberly over Centralia 41-28. That's a final. Final score, Hannibal defeats Holt 48-27. St. Francis Borgia defeats Owensville 49-14. California, one better than Oak Grove, 40-39, and that has gone final. Elsewhere, St. Pius X out of Kansas City defeats Chillicothe 51-6. Crystal City defeats Harrisburg 40-30. Fair Grove, they defeat Liberty 42-7. Penny over Maysville 44-32. Final, Oak Park, they defeat Staley 28-21. Liberty, 2 touchdowns better than Blue Springs South 42-28. It was East Buchanan rolling at Brookfield 66-14. Maryville over Cameron 47-8. Was Warsaw defeating South Callaway 46-28. Eureka over Ladue 34-14. Smithville defeats Kirksville 49-8. Elias over Washington 38-28. Valley Catholic, they defeat Caruthersville 56-14. Seneca shuts out Cassville 48-0. Kearney defeats Savannah 35-13. Branson falls at Lebanon 42-35. McDonald County, they defeat West Plains 35-33. Skyline over Polo 36-30. Tipton defeats Louisiana 40-8. Clayton, one better than Vashon. They come back and get the win 23-22. North Platte over Lincoln 59-8. Carthage defeats Raytown South 56-28. Marceline over Salisbury 32-13. Scores brought to you by the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Bank of Billings with 2 locations to better serve your banking needs, one in Marionville and one in Billings. Mid Buchanan over Trenton 20-7. Mount Vernon defeats Reed Spring 45-13 in a rematch of a game just played a couple of weeks ago. Sullivan, they defeat Union 30-7. It was Milan over Scotland County 44-0. Farmington defeats Poplar Bluff 21-28 or 28-21. Lafayette County 49, Hogan Prep 14. Pleasant Hill, they defeat Warrensburg 55-14. Platte County over Fort Osage 28-21. Fort Zumwalt North 28-7 over Liberty. Jackson 41-13 over Lindbergh, and that has gone final. Final score from Adrian. Adrian defeats Butler 49-14. Bolivar 53-14 over Hillcrest. And that was a close game early on. And Hillcrest actually had the lead 8-6. Bolivar had a couple of costly turnovers, one that led to a scoop and score, and that put Hillcrest up 8-6. Bolivar came back, was 8-6 with 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And then in that 5-11, there were 4 touchdowns scored, 3 by Bolivar and 1 by Hillcrest, but Bolivar pulling away 53-14. And they'd played earlier this year, and Bolivar had won 44-7. And now Bolivar will host McDonald County in that district championship. Crestridge over Midway 21-12. Was Cape Central defeating St. Mary's 21-6. Stratford, they hang on. They beat Forsyth 28-26. Holden falls to St. Michael the Archangel 28-21. Lee Summit North, they shut out Lee Summit 42-0. Rockhurst defeats Lee Summit West 31-8. Pacific over Gateway 31-12. And we are joined now by Seckman head football coach Nick Bear. Coach Bear, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you.
Coach, tell us a little bit about the game.
Oakville's a tough team. We've played them once this year already, and they did a great job kind of stuffing our offense last time. One of probably our worst offensive effort last time we played them, and we knew we had a lot to prepare for. We had 2 weeks to get ready, and came out and executed tonight. Defense held served like they did the first time we played, and we came out 33-0.
Tell us a little bit about some of the young men that really stood out for you tonight in that shutout.
Yeah, our defensive line right now is playing at a very high level. Very tough group to block, and really in both games that we've played against Oakville, I hate to say it, but they just almost have been unblockable. The quarterback has not had much time, not a lot of gaps for Oakville's big tailback Ethan Venable to run through. He's a great football player. He's going to have a good college career. We didn't give him any chances to get moving.
Now, and everybody's banged up at this time, but you come out of tonight relatively healthy.
Yeah, we had a sprained ankle to our guard. Actually, it was an offense conference lineman of the year. He's been a 3-year starter for us, started in every game the last 3 years, and he went down early in the third quarter. But he has a sprained ankle. He'll probably be back next week. But Logan Vickers came in, junior. He's been working his butt off. Came in and executed and did well. And that's why we practice. That's why these guys come to work every day and get it done.
And Coach, and again, we're visiting with Nick Bear, the head football coach at Seckman High School. Coach, what do you feel right now you're doing really well at this point of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing, all 3 levels of the game. Obviously we're playing great defense. Defense is averaging less than 7 points a game. It's just not something you're supposed to do. If you look at our offense the last couple of years, we were averaging over 50 points a game. That's not something you're supposed to do. Well, we knew we were going to kind of take a step back in our explosiveness on the offense this year. So we knew the defense was going to have to step up, and they have. And the offense, we're still scoring 28, 30, 40 points a game, just by kind of staying out of the way, taking advantage of short fields provided by the defense and not turning the ball over. And then, my goodness, our kicker, we didn't even know who our kicker was going to be this year. In about the second week of practice, we had a baseball player that was, playing football for the first time, playing tailback for us. All of a sudden, he kicked one time, and every coach turned their head at one point, and we're like, "Oh my God!" He kicked a kickoff 70 yards tonight. So, and anytime you can put it in the back of the end zone and have a guy that can punt the ball, it's going to do good things for you.
Coach, what was the weather like there tonight? I know the game that I attended, it was like mid-60s at game time, and it's quite a bit of a contrast to the last couple of weeks. And then you go back even to week one when it was 110 degrees.
Yeah, it was so daggone beautiful. This is one of those beautiful November nights in the valley. It's, one of the ones you kind of dream up. And I mean, just happy to be out here with the boys. Another blessed night, and we get another opportunity next week.
And, speaking of that opportunity next week, what do you know about Jackson?
No, they're a good football team. This is an opportunity we've been waiting on. The last couple of years we've been sketching, kind of writing their names in the walls of the weight room, it feels like. And, we didn't get that opportunity to play them last year, and now we get to play them this year. And guess what? We don't have to go to the pit. Their fans aren't going to be right behind us, harassing us. We don't have to worry about the big jumbotron, all the music, the this, the that. They're coming to the valley where we're comfortable, and we feel like that's going to give us an edge.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on the shutout. Big win tonight. Best of luck next week, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you next week as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Nick Bear, head coach there at Seckman. They get a shutout win tonight, 33-0 over Oakville, and they will host Jackson next week in what should be a very good Class 6 district final there. And that's Class 6 District 1. They defeated Oakville tonight, like he said, 33-0. And then Jackson and Lindbergh also had a bye last week, so they played tonight, but Jackson comes out on top in that contest. After trailing all night, South Holt scores on the last play of the game to win over Mound City, 58-56. Congratulations to South Holt. You're listening to and watching Missouri Sports Network here at, Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We'll take a timeout and be right back after these messages.
Cottages at Fairhaven Cove. This resort spans 12 acres on a quiet cove on Table Rock Lake. You will feel right at home in one of the newly renovated cottages. Options include studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom units. These units have been beautifully redone from floor to ceiling and offer both comfort and style. Each cottage has a fully functional kitchen, deck, or balcony with incredible lake view and outdoor entertainment area complete with a grill. Whether a couple or family, the perfect space awaits you. RV parking at Fairhaven Cove is now available to all guests as well. This is an ideal spot for a weekend getaway or family reunions. 4 full hookup RV parking sites are offered. Each site is complete with a picnic table, grill, Wi-Fi, and digital TV upon request. All guests have access to the numerous amenities that Fairhaven Cove offers. 2 boat docks are available for use. You can take a dip in the lake, fish, or house your boat. Cape Fear, Missouri is not only a great location for boating and water sports, but is also known as the bass capital of the world. The calm waters of the Cove is the perfect place to have your next adventure. The resort offers kayak and paddleboard rentals to guests. Life vests are always included. There is a playground for kids to enjoy and hiking trails to explore. An in-ground pool is sure to make a splash with guests of all ages. And what better way to end the day than around a fire? A large fire pit is available for s'mores, fun, and memories. These amenities and more will be sure to entertain you and your family. The Cottages of Fairhaven is on the quiet side of the lake, near Cape Fear Marina and Flat Creek Restaurant. A short drive will take you to Silver Dollar City, Branson Landing, the show boat Branson Bell, abundant shopping, shows, museums, and some of the best golf in the Midwest. Reach out to your host today to book your next vacation.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Just updating some things here. Now, first an 8-man football, and my eyes are not that good. Got to blow this up a little bit. Here's this. Lockwood defeats Greenfield as 62-12. It was Liberal over College Heights Christian 44-28. So Liberal will now travel to Lockwood and play Archie and Osceola. That game apparently has not gone final yet. The bottom of that quadrant of the bracket is Appleton City and Drexel. Those games have not been entered in yet either on the Misha website. Southwest Livingston County, they defeat Hardin Central 40-20 on that side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket, it scooted over here just a little bit. Plattsburgh played DeKalb, no final there yet. St. Joe Christian 26-20 over Bishop LeBlond. Bottom of that, South Nottoway, they get a win tonight over King City, and they will play Worth County, who defeated Pattonsburg 64-14. Schuyler County 72-20 over Knox County, and they will play North Shelby, who won 76-40 over Princeton. In Class 1, on the updated scores at Misha, if we can get to them, Marionville, as I mentioned, Marionville defeats Miller 49-0, and they will play Cabool, who defeated Ash Grove 40-6. Portageville, they defeat Pierce City 63-6. Thayer over Charleston 51-14. And we're joined now by Alan Hilliard from AlanHilliardSports.com. And Alan, it was kind of fun to get to call, well, at least the first half of that Misha TV game tonight on Alan Hilliard Sports. What were your impressions?
No, the Hillcrest. Both teams look good. Bolivar for their record. That was under.
Okay, you're kind of break. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
But yeah, Hillcrest came in. Their record didn't really state the quality of their program there. They competed pretty well. Bolivar did a few things in the second half to spread the score out, but Bolivar finished the season with 2 wins going into that game, and nothing to be proud. I'd be proud of that.
Yeah, and that was the one thing you kind of worried about. With Hillcrest winning their last 2 games going into this matchup, they were kind of feeling their oats a little bit, and they actually had the lead 8-6 with 5:11 left to go in the second quarter there right before half, and then 4 touchdowns occurred, and Bolivar gets 3 of them, and Hillcrest just the 1, and then they went on to kind of really spread it out in the second half. So Bolivar now will have to take on a very good McDonald County team who went all the way down to West Plains and got a victory there. And I don't know a lot about McDonald County. I know they played, in the Big 8 conference, and typically that's a pretty good conference. But McDonald County, they've got a couple of big guys up front.
I've seen some of their games. They've competed all season against most of the teams they've played. They're kind of one of those teams you don't really see up here. They're, just not out of the range, but kind of out of the purview of this area, I guess.
Yeah, you go down there now. They play in that extreme Southwest Missouri quadrant there, and they're members of the Big 8 conference, and they get to play at Nevada and a Lamar and a Seneca, every year. And then, their crossover games, or I believe with Mount Vernon, and that was week 1 there for McDonald County. But that was, that week 1, you go back to week 1 where it was over 100 degrees at almost every game across the state. And that weather and that temperature kind of leveled the playing field. So you can kind of throw that out of it. And I really felt like that may have been one of the best games in the area tonight, McDonald County at West Plains. And I think Bolivar's going to have their hands full next week. This is a team that I believe they played last year in this semifinal game as well, but they were the 2 seed a year ago, I believe. So they got to host McDonald County. I was at that game, and it was a good game for a while, but it was very, very, very windy there in that week 12 game a year ago. So what do you have on your docket for next week?
Well, right now my docket is open, so I'm open for whatever comes my way, it looks like at the moment.
Any other scores surprise you?
Oh, I think the Capital City defeating Camdenton game, I think that kind of surprised me. That was a game, I mean, the whole time back and forth, Capital City, Camdenton, kind of pretty close, but Capital City had the lead most of the game, it seemed like.
Yeah, and you look at, the one that really caught me, and I didn't catch it till I got back to the house, but, Branson Lebanon. I didn't think Branson would be able to hang with them, and they had the ball first and goal with 16 seconds left to go and try and tie it up. But Lebanon hangs on and wins 42-35. That was an eye-opener.
Yeah, that one is another one I was watching, and Branson was ahead quite a bit of that ball game in the first half. And, Branson, they're one of those teams moving on to the Ozark Mountain Conference, and that's looking like it's going to be a pretty competitive group of teams down there. When you add West Plains to the mix and a Bolivar team, that should be some pretty good football for next season.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed tonight is really that the COC is really playing well. I mean, Webb City they host a Belton team out of Kansas City. They've got 64 points at halftime, scored on the first 4 offensive plays.
I remember we was doing the game there. I mean, when we was talking during the game, and it literally every time you look down, it's like, look, play number 4, that's touchdown number 4. And looking at the score, I was looking at updates, and every time it was like a 20-point difference. And so Webb City, Carthage, that might be a game to be at for next week, I would imagine.
Yeah, and you look at the other COC. I mean, Carl Junction, in that Class 4 district with Nevada, they get a win. You get Kickapoo they're hosting Joplin, and they're the higher seed, and I believe Joplin held on to defeat them as well. So it's COC's having a good night. Republic gets a win. Even it's a fellow COC school in Willard, but you look at what Branson was able to do with Lebanon, and that's got to give some maybe some cause to Lebanon. Hey, they're getting ready to join this conference now, and they kind of struggled with a Branson team that had just won, I believe, 5 games all year.
Yeah, and with the football schedules coming out, looking at, for example, Lebanon, they're playing Joplin, Webb City, and Nixa, and I believe also Carthage. So they're making really good football games that we really, the last several years, have wanted to see during the regular season. And next year, games like that are going to happen with the COC, as the competitiveness is really good.
You bet. Well, Alan, are you about home?
I am halfway there, if you know what I mean.
All right. You're at halfway. No. No, I tell you what, I'll let you get home. Maybe later on the show we can check back in with you, let you get home and get settled, and we're going to run through these scores again and maybe update what next week's schedule is going to look like.
All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Alan Hilliard from AlanHilliardSports.com, kind enough to join us. When somebody just asked me when the last time Republic won 9 football games, and I don't know the answer to that. May have been when I was in high school. And I'm not saying when that was. But anyway, let's check out our Class 2 scoreboard. Valley Catholic defeats Caruthersville 56-14, and they will play Scott City. Scott City wins tonight 70-28 in their matchup tonight. And they were the 3 seed. And Central New Madrid County was the 2 seed in that district. Other scores: Stratford, they defeat Forsyth, and they will play Fairgrove. A little rivalry game there in the district championship. And we'll look at the other side of the bracket in Class 2. And that's where at the top of that you will find Lamar. Lamar defeats Diamond and they will play Adrian, who won. They defeated Butler 49-14. Lafayette County defeats Hogan Prep 49-14, and they will play the winner of St. Michael the Archangel and Holden. And again, I'm reading these just right off of the bracket site, so may have them updated at scoreboardguy.net and at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, but they don't have them updated yet on the Mission website. South Shelby defeats Clark County 43-6, and they will play Bowling Green. Bowling Green wins 51-6 over Monroe City. East Buchanan and Mid Buchanan will meet again as East Buchanan defeats Brookfield, and Mid Buchanan, coming out of the 3 seed, they defeat 2 seed Trenton in that contest. And all these games will be played, I shouldn't say all of them, but 99% of them will be played next Friday night. There may be some Saturday games, but there won't be any of the Thursday night games. Moving on here into Class 3, Central Park Heralds defeated Herculaneum 44-14, and haven't updated the next game. The bottom of that bracket, Francis Borgia defeats Owensville 49-14, and they will play St. Clair, who defeated Bishop DeBerg 69-17. Elsewhere in Class 3, Orchard Farm moves on as they defeat John Burroughs 31-13, and they will take on either Westminster Christian or St. Charles West. Blair Oaks, Class 2 defending champion. Now in Class 3, they defeat Southern Boone 64-30, and they will play Moberly, who defeated Centralia 41-28. On the other side of the bracket, in Class 3, was Ava. They move on. They defeat Eldon rather handedly, and they will play the winner of Mountain Grove and St. James, which I believe was Mountain Grove. Seneca, they shut out Cassville 48-0, and they will play Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon defeats Reed Spring 45-13. Odessa, they move on as they defeat Boonville 63-41. California, the 3 seed, defeats Oak Grove 40-39. Maryville 47-8 over Cameron, and they move on to play St. Pius X Kansas City, who defeated Chillicothe 51-6. Again, those games are next Friday night. You're listening to Friday Night Live, presented by Liona Laborers Local 663. Liona Laborers Local 663 reminds us, hey, drive safely in all work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Liona Laborers Local 663 is also our Team of the Week sponsor. Moving on into Class 4, Hillsboro defeats North County 48-0, and they will play the winner of Festus and Sykeston. Sullivan, they defeat Union 30-7, and they will play Pacific, who defeated Gateway 31-12. Lutheran North 64-0 over Normandy Collaborative, and they will move on and they will play Clayton, who defeats Vashon 23-22. Hannibal comes out of the 3 seed, and they defeat Holt 48-27, and they will play the winner of the Parkway North Warrington game, which I believe was Parkway North, but again, had not updated yet. In Class 4. And on the other side of the bracket, Pleasant Hill, they defeat Warrensburg 55-14. They'll play Jeff City, who defeats Marshall 49-3. Bolivar defeats Hillcrest 53-14, and they move on to play McDonald County, who defeats West Plains 35-33. Nevada 43-0 shutout of Grandview, and they will play Carl Junction, who defeats Harrisonville 17-7. Smithville 49-8 over Kirksville, and they move on and they will play Kearney. Kearney defeats Savannah 35-13. As we move into Class 5 here, Class 5 brought to you by Bambino's Italian Cafe, Lone Pine, and East Battlefield. They also have the original Bambino's over off of Delmar Street. and they are our luncheon sponsors. Every Monday throughout the seasons of football, basketball, and baseball, we host a luncheon every Monday at noon for coaches, area coaches, college coaches, and the city coaches to come in and talk about their sports and their events that have come up. Great showing here last Monday as our awards banquet went out as we awarded our area coach of the year, and that was Bill Forrest from Fair Grove. Our city coach of the year, Nate Thomas from Kickapoo. Our offensive player of the year in the city was Chris Hamey, the quarterback at Kickapoo. And our defensive player of the year is Kellen Lindstrom from Glendale High School. Our offensive player of the year in the area, Wyatt Woods from Republic, as he gets a win tonight. Our defensive player of the year from Nixa High School was Spencer Ward. In Class 5, Farmington defeats Poplar Bluff. Farmington wins in overtime last week over Webster Groves. Then they go to Poplar Bluff and beat the 1 seed. So they're the 4 seed, and they will be playing the 2 seed Cape Central on Friday night as Cape Central defeats St. Mary Southside 21-6. Rockwood Summit and Eureka, I believe those two won. But the score's not updated here at Misha. Cardinal Ritter 82-0 over University City. And they will play MICDS, who upset Hazelwood East 36-14. St. Dominic and Timberland, that winner will play Fort Zumwalt North, who defeated Liberty Winsfield tonight 28-7. On the other side of the bracket in Class 5, Elias Catholic, they move on as they defeat Washington 38-28, and they will play Capital City, who defeated Camdenton 38-35. Lebanon, as we mentioned, 42-35 over Branson. They move on and they will play Republic. Republic defeats Willard 35-14. Webb City 71-20 over Belton, and they will host Carthage, who defeats Raytown South 56-28. Grain Valley over William Chrisman 49-8, and they will play Platte County, who defeated Fort Osage 28-21. As we move here into Class 6, we remind you once again, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. In Class 6, Seckman shuts out Oakville 33-0, and they move on and they will host Jackson, who defeated Lindbergh 41-13. Marquette and CBC, that game has not gone final, I don't think. Well, it may have by now, but I haven't seen it. But Francis Howe defeats Lafayette Wildwood 49-28, and they will take on that Marquette CBC winner. DeSmet, they beat Hazelwood Central 45-6, and they will host SLU next week as St. Louis University High defeats Rittenhour 40-17. Looking at the other side of the bracket on what scores have been updated, Oak Park, they defeat Staley 28-21, and they will host Park Hill. Park Hill with a 35-28 win over St. Joe Central. Liberty North, they defeat Blue Springs 71-31, and they will host Liberty, who defeated Blue Springs South 42-28. Lee Summit North, they shut out Lee Summit 42-0, and they will host Rockhurst, who defeats Lee Summit West 31-8. And Nixa, 50-0 win over Ozark, and they will host Joplin in a rematch of a COC game. Those are your scores from around the state of Missouri. We'll take a quick time out here, and we come back. We'll run through them one more time and maybe hear from another coach as well. And we hope so, because I'm losing my voice. So, hey, you keep it right here. We will be right back here on the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Hey, if you'd like to follow us, you can follow us at Scoreboard Guy on Twitter or at Missouri_sports. On Twitter. You can visit the website at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Go to our Facebook page and like us, and you will be made aware of every episode that comes on throughout the week as we're getting ready here to wrap up our high school fall seasons. Volleyball got underway, or maybe wrapped up by now, but got underway yesterday, and we'll try and run through some of those scores as well as we look at some of the scores here. We will be joined by Pleasant Hill head football coach Justin Hamilton here shortly as they get a win tonight, 55-14 over Warrensburg. And they will, and that's, I'm not going to say a surprise, but they avenged a loss back 3 weeks ago on October the 6th. Warrensburg beat them 38-31, so big turnaround there, and that was their only loss of the season for the Pleasant Hill Roosters. So as I mentioned, we'll be joined by Justin Hamilton shortly. We'll run through the scores as we got them right now. You can go to scoreboardguy.net and MissouriSportsNetwork.com, click on the scoreboards, and we will have those updated for you. But right now we're looking at eight-man football. Week 11 scoreboard, it was Lockwood over Greenfield, 62-12. Liberal defeats College Heights, 44-28. Still no final from Archie and Osceola. Appleton City defeats Drexel, 72-0. Sweet Springs over Northwest, 36-32. St. Paul Lutheran defeats Concordia, 56-26. My apologies. So 56-26. Bramer over Oric, 106-66. Bishop LeBlanc, 26-20 over St. Joe Christian. South Holt, 58-56 over Mount City. I'm sorry. Trying to get a couple of coaches here lined up here real quick before we get to Justin Hamilton. And we're joined now by Mount Vernon head football coach Tom Cox. Coach Cox, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Thank you.
Coach, a big win. It's awful tough to beat a good team twice in the same season, especially within a matter of a couple of weeks. Tell us about tonight's game.
Oh, it was a heck of a game. We played well. They are just an offensive juggernaut, and our defense played really, really well tonight. We played well really in all three phases. I was very proud of our team to come back like that. As you said, it's tough to beat somebody twice in the same year, especially when they're a good team, and especially when you played them just 2 weeks ago. So it was just really a fine ball game by a lot of our guys. They stepped up.
Coach, tell us about some of those players that really have improved and really stepped up for you tonight.
Sure. I think, we start with probably Jarrett Zerby. Jarrett has missed some games early with a broken wrist. He's got a broken bone in his wrist, and he's been playing with a cast for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he's got it covered up. But he made one of the best interceptions you'll see. I mean, it was a great highlight play. We had they threw it deep, they throw it well. Burrow's a great quarterback, and then they have the Dowdy kid as a receiver. And Jarrett went up and just one-handed this thing, pulled it in. It was kind of an OBJ play, and that really, really got us going. We were able to score. He had 3 touchdown receptions tonight, but you can't get those unless the quarterback does his job. And Gavin Johnston had really just an incredible night. He was 15 for 17 tonight and threw for 6 touchdown passes. He threw a 40-yarder, 32-yarder, 24-yarder, had a 5-yarder, and had a 24-yarder, and just really managed the game well, I thought. He, in our RPO stuff, our run pass option things, he gave it when it should have been given, and he pulled it and ran a few times when it was there, and then he pulled it and made accurate throws, and our guys really did good. We had Zerby with those 3 catches, and then Ryder Damp had 1 touchdown. Braxton Horton had a nice touchdown run, and then Brody Thompson had a 21-yard touchdown pass in the second half. That was just really a nice job. He just wasn't going to be denied the end zone. But it was really a team effort tonight. Braden Dodson had, I don't know, about another 140-yard game or so, but unusual. He didn't get in the end zone. He had 5 touchdowns against them when we played a couple of weeks ago, but it was all through the air tonight.
Very good. You guys come out of tonight's game, healthy, other than it's week 12.
Yeah. We got some guys dinged up for sure. We're going to need a week to kind of recover. It was a physical game. They do a good job of running the ball as well, but their receivers are really physical after they catch the ball. But to hold them to 2 touchdowns, I thought was just an incredible feat. Coach Johnston does a great job with our defense, and I think they ended up with 351 yards of total offense. But Burrow was 20 for 39 for 216 yards. He had 1 touchdown, but we had 4 interceptions on him, and that's just unheard of. So our guys did a great job. They rushed for another 135 yards. So, they moved the ball, but we did a nice job of buckling down when we had to. We came up with some really nice takeaways in that. So it was just really a good ball game tonight.
Now you've got Seneca at Seneca here next week, a team you didn't see during the regular season. What do you know about Seneca? And it's always kind of a great atmosphere to go down there and play, just not so much if you're a visiting team.
Yeah, it is a great place to play. With that turf they've got now, I never thought I would see the day when Seneca had artificial surface down there on the Tom Hodge field, but it's really a nice complex now, really a good venue to play in, and its stands are real close, and so it does give really a great atmosphere playing. The one thing I know about Seneca is that they're very, very good, and we have not looked at film. We've tried not to look ahead. We've been taking one game at a time, which is tough, I think, for young people to do sometimes. But our guys were locked in tonight on Reed Spring, and now we celebrate tonight, and then we'll come in tomorrow and we'll stretch and run just a little bit and have a light lift, and we feed them breakfast, and then we'll watch a little bit of film, and then we'll get them gone, and just trying to kind of get some blood flowing in there to hopefully recuperate some ankles and some elbows and things like that. A couple of knees. We hope to get Danny Fields back next week. He's been out since the first Hollister game with a knee injury, but we're not sure he's going to be able to go. But he's going to give it a try this week in practice. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, I think we're fortunate in week 12 to be as healthy as we are.
Well, and anytime you're still playing in week 12, you've had a good season.
We really have. The loss to Nevada was a tough one. We battled, man. I thought they were really a nice team, so well disciplined. Wes Beechler, one of my favorite coaches, he does a great job with those guys, and just a great person too. He came over to our team and told them how well they played and stuff after the loss. But we kind of got that game where we battled back to where we were down 6. We had 3 minutes to go in that one, and that's usually kind of where we shine. But we had a good rush on Gavin, our quarterback, and he tried to dump the ball, and it got tipped up, and they had a pick 6 on us, and it got us down on that, so we couldn't finish that game. But it was a heck of a ball game, and I think our guys have played well throughout the year. We've certainly played better at times than we have others, but that's kind of the way it is sometimes. But this time of year, you don't have that luxury anymore. So every game has got to be locked in, and you got to play mistake-free football, and you got to play really good defense as the weather gets colder and the weather gets worse. And so that's what we hope to do next week against Seneca.
Very good. Well, Coach, congratulations, and thanks so much for being generous with your time tonight.
Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate all you do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Mount Vernon head football coach Tom Cox as they get a win tonight, 45-14, I believe, 45-14 over Reed Spring. And they will move on, and they've got Seneca. And Seneca has been just so very good all year long. They come back, they get a win over, I believe that's Nevada's only loss is to Seneca, and I believe it maybe Lamar's only loss as well. So Seneca is playing really, really well right now. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe a matchup between them and maybe a Maryville team that has really played well this season as well. Let's look real quickly here as we're waiting to hear from Justin Hamilton, Pleasant Hill Roosters head football coach. Going to be joining us here in just a minute, we hope. If we can get to Scoreboard, scoreboardguy.net. We'll refresh that a little bit. You can go on there. You can also chat with us right here on our chat box on YouTube or Facebook as well. In 8-man football, it was. Let's refresh this and see what we have out there. It was Lockwood over Greenfield, 62-12. Liberal defeats College Heights 44-28. Appleton City over Drexel 72-0. Sweet Springs defeats Northwest 36-32. St. Paul Lutheran over Concordia 56-26. Bramer, the high mark of the night, they defeat Oric 106-66. Southwest over Hardin Central 40-20. Bishop LeBlond over St. Joe Christian, 26-20. It was South Holt over Mound City, 58-56. South Nottoway defeats King City, 54-8. Schuyler County over Knox County, 72-20. It was North Shelby over Princeton, 76-40. In Class 1, district quarterfinals, it was in District 1, was Marionville over Miller, 49-0. Cabul defeats Ash Grove, 40-6. Portageville over Pierce City, 63-6. Thayer over Charleston, 51-14. And in District 2, quarterfinals, St. Vincent defeats Russellville, 56-6. Crystal City over Harrisburg, 40-30. Tipton over Louisiana, 40-8. And in District 3, it was North Platte defeating Wellington Napoleon, 59-14. It was Crest Ridge over Midway, 21-12. Windsor defeats West Platte, 39-0. Skyline defeats Polo, 36-30. And in District 4, it was Milan over Scotland County, 44-0. Marceline defeats Salisbury, 32-12. And we welcome to the Scoreboard Show now here on Friday Night Live, Pleasant Hill head football coach Justin Hamilton. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you for reaching out.
Coach, big win tonight, kind of a revenge win.
Yeah, it was. It was a good win for our kids. And, we don't talk about revenge. We talked about getting better than we were the first time with them.
Yeah, just 3 weeks ago, Warrensburg had defeated you 38-31. What went different for you in this game tonight and a 55-14 victory?
Well, it was kind of like the perfect storm. Our offense moved the ball well. We scored early. We were actually in a 7-7 game early in the game. Then in the second quarter, we blocked a punt, returned it for a touchdown. Defensively, our big thing going into the league was try to keep their quarterback inside the pocket and not let him get out in the open field. And our defense did a phenomenal job of that. We had 2 interceptions that we both got points off of as well once we got the ball back. So, the second quarter was a big quarter for us in terms of all 3 phases of the game, really.
Who were some of the young men that really stood out for you tonight?
Brady Rowe, our free safety, he had an interception, and he also returned the punt block for a touchdown. Braden Bush and Garrison Hartzell offensively running the football for us. And our quarterback had a really good, efficient night throwing the football, which we haven't done much of lately. There was a lot of – I could talk about every kid tonight probably. There were a lot of things that really went well, but our defensive line keeping their quarterback contained was a big part of our game plan headed into the week, and they did a good job of that tonight.
Yeah, you've just given up 27 points in the last 3 games combined. You feel like you're hitting your stride with your defense?
We do. We had a pretty big injury that ended the kids' season week 5, and we're trying to figure out how to play without him. And our defense has started to do some really good things in terms of figuring out how to do that. And we've had some kids step up, and they've executed game plans well, and that's all you can ask.
Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
We did. That's one of the big things headed into next week. No injuries tonight, and we had the bye week last week to get some kids healthy and back that we haven't had because of injury.
Again, visiting with Justin Hamilton, the Pleasant Hill Roosters head football coach. And Coach, you got Jeff City a week from tonight. What do you know about the Jays?
We know they run the wing tee. We know they're on a 3-man front. Other than that, we got to get into the film. We were really worried about Warrensburg. Knew we couldn't look past them after what they did to us earlier this year. So we're actually sitting down and getting ready to get to work on some of that right now.
All right. Well, Coach, hey, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show and generous with your time. I know it's especially after a district win, you start right away, with your next week's opponent, especially a team that you haven't seen all year. They're not on your schedule, but congratulations on the big win, and we look forward to next week's game, and hopefully we'll get you back on next Friday night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Good night. I said good night. I'm getting ready to go to bed. He sounds like he's getting ready to go to work. I probably these guys, I tell you what, these football coaches, they they got to get right back in it. They've got to start looking at Jeff City team that they'll play next week is 7-4 on the season, and you can kind of throw records out the window right now. Even though Pleasant Hill's had a tremendous year, they're 9-1 on the year with that victory tonight. They got a bye last week in Week 10, and now they're heading into Week 12 with a win, and they take on Jefferson City. Let's take one last break here. We'll come back and run through the scores that we have at this time, and we will be back after these messages.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Running through the scores here one more time before we get out of here. It was Lockwood over Greenfield, 62-12. And this is 8-man scoreboard from tonight. Liberal over College Heights, 44-28. Appleton City shuts out Drexel, 72-0. Sweet Springs over Northwest, 36-32. St. Paul Lutheran defeats Concordia, 56-26. Bramer over Oric, 106-66. Southwest defeats Hardin Central, 40-21. 40-20. It was Bishop LeBlond over St. Joe Christian, 26-20. South Holt defeats Mound City, 58-56. South Nottoway over King City, 54-8. Schuyler County defeats Knox County, 72-20. North Shelby over Princeton, 76-40. In Class 1, District 1, it was Marionville over Miller, 49-0. Cabool over Ash Grove, 40-6. Portageville defeats Pierce City, 63-6. Thayer over Charleston, 51-14. In District 2 was St. Vincent defeating Russellville, 56-6. Crystal City over Harrisburg, 40-30. Louisiana falls to Tipton, 40-8. North Platte over Wellington Napoleon. North Platte over Wellington Napoleon, 59-14. Crestridge, 21-12 over Midway Windsor. Over West Platte, 39-0. And Skyline defeats Polo, 36-30. And in Class 4 was Milan over Scotland County, 44-0. Marceline defeats Salisbury, 32-13. Westran over Putnam County 13-12. Penny defeats Maysville 44-32. Class 2, District 1, Caruthersville over Kelly 49-7. New Madrid County Central 13-0 over Malden in a forfeit. Scott City defeats East Prairie 56-8. That was last week. My apologies. Tonight, the district semifinals. Valley Catholic over Caruthersville 56-14. Scott City defeats New Madrid County Central 70-28. In District 2 was Jefferson over St. Pius at 10th, 28-15. In District 3 was Father Tolton defeating Versailles 64-26. Warsaw over South Callaway 46-28. And in District 4, Fair Grove defeats Mountain View Liberty 42-7. And Stratford over Forsyth 28-26. District 5 was Lamar over Diamond 47-0. And Adrian defeats Butler 49-14. And in District 6, St. Michael over Sherwood 38-0. I apologize. District semifinals, Lafayette County defeats Hogan Prep 49-14. St. Michael over Holden 28-21. And in District 7, South Shelby defeats Clark County 43-6. Bowling Green over Monroe City 51-6. And in Class 2, District 8, East Buchanan over Brookfield 66-14. And Mid Buchanan over Trent 20-7. Class 3 district football scoreboard. In District 1, Central Park Hills 44, Herculaneum 14, and St. Genevieve over Dexter 29-28. In District 2 was Borgia over Owensville 49-14, and St. Clair over Bishop DeBerg 69-17. And in District 3, we don't have any scores there yet. In District 4, Blair Oaks defeats Southern Boone, and they will play Moberly, who defeated Centralia. And in District 5, it was Ava over Eldon 72-36. Mountain Grove defeats St. James 67. And I'm not sure what the St. James score is. And in District 6, Class 3 was Seneca over Cassville 48-0. Mount Vernon defeats Reed Spring 45-13. District 7, Odessa over Booneville 63-41. And Oak Grove shuts out California 39-0. And in District 8, Maryville 47-8 over Cameron. St. Pius X 51-6 over Chillicothe. And in Class 4, District 1, don't have a final from Hillsborough, North County yet, but Festus defeats Sykeston 51-7. And in District 2, Sullivan over Union 30-7, and Pacific 31-12 over Gateway. And in District 3, Lutheran North 64-0 over Normandy, and Clayton defeats Vashon 23-22. District 4 was Warrenton over Parkway North 28-21, and Hannibal defeats Holt 48-27. And in District 5, Pleasant Hill defeats Warrensburg 55-14, and Jefferson City over Marshall 49-3. District 6, Bolivar 53-14 over Hillcrest, and McDonald County defeats West Plains 35-33. And in District 7 was Nevada shutting out Grandview 43-0, and Carl Junction defeats Harrisonville 17-7. And in District 8, Smithville over Kirksville 49-8, and Kearney defeats Savannah 35-13. Class 5, District 1, Farmington, they advance as the 5 seed as they defeat Poplar Bluff 28-21. Cape Central 21-6 over St. Mary's. District 2, Rockwood Summit 42-22 over Parkway West. Eureka defeats Ladue 34-14. District 3 was Cardinal Ritter 82-0 over University City, and MICDS defeats Hazelwood East 36-14. And in District 4, St. Dominic 45-28 over Timberland. And Fort Zumwalt North over Liberty 28-7. District 5, Elias defeats Washington 38-28, and Capital City defeats Camdenton 38-35. District 6, Lebanon 42-35 over Branson, and Republic 35-14 over Willard. District 7, Webb City 71-20 over Belton, and Carthage 56-28 over Raytown South. District 8, Green Valley defeats William Chrisman 49-8, and Platte County over Fort Osage 28-21. Class 6 district football, District 1, Seckman defeats Oakville 33-0, and Jackson over Lindbergh 41-13. In District 2, it was CBC defeating Marquette 44-35, and Francis Howe defeating Lafayette 49-28. District 3, DeSmet over Hazelwood Central 45-6, and SLU defeats Rittenhour 40-17. District 4, Rockbridge 69-32 over Francis Howe Central, and Troy Buchanan 21-14 over Fort Zumwalt West. And in District 5, Nixa defeats Ozark 50-0, and Joplin defeats Kickapoo 45-29. District 6, Lee Summit North 42-0 over Lee Summit. Rockhurst 31-8 over Lee Summit West. And in District 7, Liberty North 71-31 over Blue Springs, and Liberty 42-28 over Blue Springs South. And in District 6, Oak Park defeats Staley 28-21, and we're working on a final for St. Joe Central and Park Hill. But you have been listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Good night. God bless.